Also joining us this afternoon is Attorney Ruy Rondain, lawyer of former Congressman Zaldy Co. Magandang hapon, Attorney, and thank you for joining us again.
Magandang hapon,
Hi,
Attorney.
guys.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi, sir.
afternoon.
Hi, Attorney. Yeah.
I'm tempted to ask you where he is, but I'm sure you...
Okay, I will ask you then. Attorney, where is Zaldy Co exactly?
I still don't know, Regina.
I just had to ask.
I still don't
Attorney,
want to know.
One day
I
it's
know,
Portugal,
but
the next day it's Sweden. We're just scratching our heads
But why
here.
did he have to go to Sweden for that document? I mean, couldn't he have done it in wherever he is right now?
I suppose it was convenient for him. I sent that to him a few days earlier.
Saka,
And then, sabi ko, ipanotarize niya wherever. I didn't want to know where he was going to notarize it. And then he sent it to me. Yun na, notarize na sa Sweden.
saka magaganda yung mga sauna sa Sweden.
Mga ano?
Sauna. Sauna.
Attorney,
Magaganda sauna sa Sweden.
Attorney, nakikita natin yung video of your client, ano? Merong mga nagsasabi na baka naman gusto daw ni Congressman Co na i-authenticate tong mga video if he wants them to have probative value. Kung talagang gusto niyang gamitin for accusations.
Hindi naman niya dinedeny. In fact, siyang nag-post, di ba? Sa kanyang sa Facebook page niya.
Pero kung if you want to use it for legal purposes, di ba kailangan kahit paano may notarization or he has to swear to it, di ba? May balak ba siyang gawin
Hindi
yun?
naman. Eventually, yes. No? Pagka for judicial purposes. Pero na-explain ko na rin na yung aim niya ngayon, it's not for it to be used in court. Rather, to initiate, to disclose yung katotohanan, and it might prod the authorities to continue the investigation. Apparently, they're not inclined to do that. So,
Pero yun ang sinasabi pati yung investigator
Attorney,
Pati investigator yun ang sinasabi. Kapag daw hindi authenticated, bakit daw nila imbestigahan? Yun ang sinasabi pati ng investigator.
Sige, let me give you a counter-argument na madaling-madali. Ian, kung merong namatay na tao na may minurder na tao nakita mo sa kalye, walang witness, walang affidavit, hindi mo ba imbestigahin? Diba?
Medyo iba yata yung alam yan.
So, anong gagawin mo, Ami?
Hindi iba. If you're accusing someone of a crime, if a crime has been committed, dapat imbestigahin mo yan eh. Whatever it is, we can change the topic. Huwag murder. Gawin nating nakaw. Nawala yung spolyaryo.
Yung patay talaga nandun eh. May corpus delicti yun eh. Ito accusation eh.
Ang sinasabi niya na nagka-insertion, pwede mo imbestigahin yun eh. Na nagka-kickback, pwede mo imbestigahin yun. The numbers will tell you.
Yes, sir. But sir, for example, sir, sinasabi niya na he facilitated or he took part in personally delivering suitcases of cash to the President and to Speaker Romualdez. Wouldn't it be to his benefit as well to, number one, authenticate it or at least put it down in writing in an affidavit with more details para kahit wala siya rito, gugulong?
It definitely will. Kaya lang, wala pang chance to do it.
Attorney, merong dalawang impeachment na final kay President Bongbong at parehong in-invoke yung testimony ni Zaldy Co. Hindi ba magandang chance yun para i-authenticate yung kanyang testimony dahil impeachment na yun eh. At sinasabi nung mga nag-file, kahit yung isa na walang nag-endorse, no? Yung final nila Mike Defensor ay magte-testify daw si Zaldy Co dun sa kanilang impeachment complaints. So, hindi ba magandang panahon yon para gawin yan?
Sana, pero actually nakwento sa akin yan ni Mike. Sabi niya, willing ba si Zaldy na mag-testify sa impeachment? Sabi ko, I don't know, tatanungin po, but that's low in his priority list ang pagkaalam ko eh. So I asked Zaldy also kung willing siya. Sabi niya, mababa sa priority ko kasi hindi naman yan ang objective ko by releasing my videos eh. Now, I don't know kung nakausap ni Mike siya talaga. Hindi ko naman kasama either of them 24 hours a day. Hindi ko alam kung ano talaga yung usapan nila. But I agree with you. In the normal course of things, maganda nga yun ma-authenticate at magamit dun sa impeachment. Pero again, hindi naman yun yung objective niya.
Attorney, to be crystal clear, which Mike are we talking about? Just so people know.
Mike Defensor.
Okay,
Mike
thank you.
Defensor.
So, yung sinasabi ni Mike Defensor that si Zaldy is willing to testify even through video conferencing in the impeachment complaint that they failed to file, even that is not really certain.
Not in his priorities.
Not in his priority. Pagkaalam ko, I don't know kung nag-usap sila ni Mike ng personal. But I agree with you. Maganda sana.
Is there any hope at all that he might still come back and face charges? I mean, at the start of this whole scandal, he was still saying his party mates at least, kunyari si Congressman Carbin, were still saying that he will come back and face the charges, but it's been so many months.
Well, eventually, if you will remember, I've always said that the primary concern is his personal safety. He really feels that. That's subjective. We cannot fault him for that. No? But eventually he will, because he has to. Eventually. Yun lang yung threat to his life that he feels.
What do you mean he has to? I mean, he can also... What does he need to come back to exactly?
Well, it's hard to be hiding all your life. You can't avoid this forever. And we're quite confident that we can get an acquittal. Ang problem lang is that the charges are non-bailable and trumped up. And even if I can get him acquitted eventually, he'll be in jail for the next 10 years. So that's what we're trying to avoid by fighting the charges themselves.
Did you say trumped up?
Yes.
Why do you think they're trumped up?
Well, I can't discuss the merits of that anymore because the petition has been filed in the Supreme Court. But there are several grounds that we strongly believe in. A copy of the petition has been circulated. I can't discuss it anymore. I don't want to get
Fair enough. Yung sub judice rule na naman.
Pero sir, what would
Attorney,
be...
can you confirm that merong negotiations for him to return? Some representative are talking with him for his return. Can you confirm that?
No, I deny that. Initially, I said that I'm the only one authorized, as far as I know, to speak for him.
Yes.
And then, sinabi ng someone, one of the Remulias said na, priest. So I asked him, sabi ko, may pinadala ka ba na priest? Sabi niya, wala. Ang pinapadala na priest, ikaw lang. So there you go.
Hindi, hindi pinadala.
Oo.
Kinausap na pare.
Parang confident lang ata yung pare doon sa
Yes.
Portugal. This is what we understood from John Becremunia, sir. May kausap lang si Zaldy Co raw sa Portugal na isang Filipino priest na parang confident. And ano pagkakasabi ni Remunia? Parang nagkaroon ng hindi epiphany.
Really, something along
Spiritual enlightenment.
Hindi sabi niya, hindi
Oh,
yun eh.
not
Sinabi niya,
exactly in
spiritual
those words, but
enlightenment.
some sort of a realization.
Oh.
Bottom line. Oo.
Pinapa-negotiate? Wala siyang pinapa-negotiate.
Hindi, feelers mo lang, sir, at this point. That's what the...
Walang feelers.
Not even feelers daw, wala.
Not even feelers. Walang feelers.
Baka spiritual.
Where would the Interior Secretary have gotten that then?
Baka spiritual yung feelers.
I'm afraid to ask where he got that.
In fact, si John Vic, sir, was saying
Must be
before
the-
nga na he was going to Portugal daw to try to meet up with the priest and see what he could get out of the
Pero parang
priest.
several layers yung kausap eh.
Oh,
A
yeah,
friend
hindi-
told a
Yeah.
friend and another friend.
Yeah.
Second and
To
third.
be fair, Ronald, narinig ko nga, the first time he said it, he said, friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. Sabi ko, sige, fair enough, no? Pero nung sinabi ko na, officially na wala, he should not have repeated it. Kasi meron ng official denial eh. And, you know, you can announce speculation, pero pag na-deny na, you don't act on the basis of that speculation. Yun yung unfair.
Medyo mahina nga.
That's why, when did he get it? I'm afraid to ask.
A
It's a
friend
bit of dark
Kung
place.
sakasakali, attorney, if your client wants to talk daw, kailangan restitution muna. What do you think of that?
Isa pa yan. You know, ang root word ng restitution is restore. Eh, what do you restore if you didn't take anything?
So, out na yan. Out of the question yung
Out
restitution?
Out yan.
Okay.
You're
That was
saying,
never floated.
what do you
Okay.
mean
Out
when
of the question yung restitution by Zaldy Co, ha?
Ain't gonna happen.
Ain't gonna happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, attorney, what did you mean when you said how can you restore when you didn't take anything? So, I mean, I guess it is your belief that your client did not participate in all of this, right? But what do we make of the
He
fact
did.
that he was appropriations chair when all of this was going on?
He did not profit from it, Regina. And therefore, if he didn't profit from it, there is nothing to return.
Pero sir, in his video, it does seem clear that he acknowledges that he did something wrong when he said that he was facilitating and personally delivering as well
Hundreds of billions.
Yeah.
several pieces of baggage full of cash. That
That's
amounts
correct.
to, at the very least, that would amount to accessory to
Accessory to a crime.
to a crime at the very least. Diba? Isn't that an admission already of some sort that that he did something wrong?
Well, let's not talk about the degree of liability, or if there's any liability. The question is whether that is something to return. Diba? Because although he did say that he participated somehow in the distribution of that money, he also was very clear that he didn't take a single cent. So he didn't profit from it, and therefore there is nothing to return.
If he didn't profit from it, how do we account for all of the
Assets.
the luxuries, the assets? As of this point, there are already 12 vehicles that have been impounded by the ICI, I believe. I don't know if that's been updated. And there are also water assets, yachts, boats. There are the houses. There are
Air
the
assets.
condos here in BGC, amongst the most expensive in all of the country. There's the house in Valle Verde. There's another house allegedly in, I don't know, Dasma or Forbes, one of those places. So how do we account for all of that?
Will you contest those freezing of these assets?
It depends, but let me answer. That's a two-part question. Let me answer the first part of Regina's question. When I first reviewed the files, I declared publicly that his opening net worth when he first joined the Congress in 2019 was 4.1 billion. I was wrong. It is incorrect. His correct net worth, I did the math again, was 4.9 billion before he joined the government. So the answer to your question, how do we account for all those assets? 4.9 billion, richer than Manny Villar.
But again,
But let me answer the second question.
go ahead. Yeah.
Adi, nakalimutan ko. What was the second question?
Sorry.
How will I contest?
Okay,
Depends.
sorry.
Depends on what property. Because the aircraft, he doesn't own any aircraft. That's owned by corporations in which he owns stock. Sea vessels, I don't know of any sea vessels. I would imagine they're also owned by corporations in which he owns stock. But the ICI or customs, whichever, wala akong notice, did seize some vehicles which are owned by him and his wife in their personal capacities, and those we will definitely contest. But I can't proceed. I don't have any papers. They just took the they just took the vehicles, and I don't know what to do. I'm writing everyone left and right. I still don't have clear answers.
Okay.
Yes, to answer Ronald, we will contest.
Okay, so 4.9 billion was the figure that you came up with. That was Zaldy Co's net
Yes.
worth before he entered Congress. But is it also not true that the bulk of that assets, that net worth, was derived from his construction company, SunWest, which we know at this point has been involved in many of these allegedly anomalous flood control projects? I just got word that we lost Attorney Rondain. We're gonna try to
Wala.
get him back, but
May Angela naman.
Na-disconnect.
Yeah, we lost him.
Na-disconnect. Okay.
so he's saying that Zaldy Co was richer than Manny Villar before he entered Congress, and yet
Baka kaya tatanong ko sana yun baka naman dollar yung sinasabi niyang 4.9 billion. Dahil the Villars are worth more than 4.9 billion.
yes, I think you're right.
Baka naman dollar yung
Hindi na
sinasabi
ngayon.
dyan.
Huh?
But this
Mga
is
bilyar.
2019, ha? This is
Ay,
2019.
No, even
na
with the investigation, ganun pa, malaki pa rin yung sa bilyan.
But, I mean, ano na?
Pero mas yun yung binabanat ka Zaldy Co yung nag-handle siya ng hundreds of billions in alleged bribe money, pero hindi siya nakakuha na at a single centavo. Yun yung
Kasi nga daw,
usual na
napunta
banat
dun sa mas
sa
matataas
kanyang
sa kanya.
testimony.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Got Attorney Rondain back. Welcome back, Attorney. So let me repeat
you.
my question. You're saying, by the way, that
Yeah.
4.9 billion that you're talking about, is that pesos or dollars?
Pesos.
Pesos.
Peso.
Sabi ni
Okay.
Ami, Manny Villar and his family is worth more than
It's worth
that,
more
though.
than
So
that.
he can't be richer than them. But anyways, the question is,
Okay. Let me correct it. It was higher than the net worth declared by Cynthia Villar.
okay.
Ganun na.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cynthia,
Okay.
Individual.
So anyway, my question is 4.9 billion was the number that you came up with that Zaldy Co was
Yeah.
worth before he entered Congress. But is it also not true that the bulk of his money and income were derived from SunWest Construction, which we know by now was one of the contractors that was involved in many of these allegedly anomalous flood control projects that are among the top 15 largest contractors in the Philippines, not counting even yung related construction company High Tone, which was allegedly started by Zaldy Co and his brother.
My answer to that would be a soft no, because SunWest is only one of the corporations in which he owns stock. The older corporations, in fact, yung aviation companies, I think 2004 pa eh. And SunWest had a big contract with the government as early as 2008, 2009. And they were all good. And number three, he had divested by the time he became appropriations chair. So the insinuation that he made money for SunWest or through SunWest because he was a government official is a false assumption.
No, the insinuation is that he's already made his money, fine, but that was through the flood control projects, which we now know many of them are problematic, right? Because SunWest was one of the
No, we
largest
don't.
contractors.
No, sorry, Regina. Ang problematic so far is yung lumalabas lang na constructed in when? 2022, 23?
Some of them
He was
were...
no longer. Go
No,
ahead.
some of
Alam
them
ko,
were
22,
from
23.
29... They date back to many years before 2018, 2019. I will look it up.
Oh, there you go. At which time he was no longer a stockholder.
Yes, but wasn't it...
So he did not make money.
Right, but when he divested from SunWest, wasn't it passed down to his family members? Diba his kids, his children were the top shareholders of the company? I think he also...
No.
There was
My recollection is... Go ahead. My recollection is he divested...
I saw this...
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I saw this SEC filing that showed that it was his children that were named. Di ba yung one of his kids, the son, who came out publicly to try to distance himself from the father, said he is one of the ones on paper that are the beneficiaries, the stockholders of SunWest.
Yeah, okay.
So my point being, nag-divest siya, sure, but it still remained within the family.
I don't know. I recollect that he divested in favor of another corporation. I don't know who it was in favor of. The son was always a stockholder, I think.
Yeah, that's my point. And then also,
So-
I forgot about Misibis Bay, which is also being linked to him, the resort, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to. He's a stockholder, I
Yeah.
think. He's a
Yeah,
stockholder of
he's a
Mississippi.
stockholder.
Oh, there you go.
Attorney,
So?
kumustahin ko lang yung mga legal efforts ninyo kasi there's a question on whether someone who's a fugitive can have legal representation. Hindi pa nasa-settle yung question na yun, di ba?
Part yan nung Supreme Court petition na
Yes.
kasi mayroong
So-
ruling
so-
yung
Yes.
may case recently na lumabas yung Janson case na
Yes.
sinabi na a fugitive has no judicial recourse. Pero
Yes.
sinabi din namin, as said in Janson, na this is an exception to the existing doctrine, yung Miranda doctrine. So Janson
Pero
does not
hindi pa
establish a
nasa-settle yan,
doctrine.
ano? In your
Diba?
case, hindi pa siya
Well,
nasa-settle.
To my mind, walang issue eh. But again, I don't want to discuss it.
Attorney,
If
anong,
interpretation, malinaw naman doon yung argument.
attorney, anong status ng kanyang passport? Na-cancel na ba?
Alam ko, kinancel ng isang Sandigan Division.
But does he
Yeah.
hold a Portuguese passport, as alleged by some of the officials?
What's that? The Portuguese
Does he hold a
passport?
Portuguese passport, as alleged by Interior Secretary Remulla?
I don't know. I don't ask that either because it will narrow the search. Diba? But I don't think so. Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. But
Why do you say, sir, you don't think so?
wala naman siya nakakwento sa akin na meron siyang Portuguese passport.
Baka hindi niyo lang tinatanong, sir. Because it's already in the
Ayun na.
news.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Ayoko tanungin because it will narrow his location as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Oh, let me say gut feeling ko. I don't think.
Yes.
But I
Kasi,
don't know.
sir, I understand na hindi mo natanong, so maybe not. Pero iba kasi pag sinabi mo, you don't think so. You say you don't think so,
Hey.
parang may basehan eh.
I'm speculating. Parang Portugal. Kasi sinasabi ni John Vic Remulla 10 years ago pa raw. Sabi ko, 10 years ago? Meron na bang golden visa 10 years ago? Parang wala pa yata.
I think meron na. Matagal na yung golden visa
10
with
years?
Europe.
But the golden visa
I mean,
is not...
but have you known him 10 years, attorney? Just curious.
No, I have not.
Okay, well
No,
then,
no.
Saka a golden visa is just a visa.
it is just a visa.
Yeah.
It's not a passport.
It's not a passport.
It's a residence permit.
Okay,
Yeah.
just last question, very quickly, attorney. If all his assets are frozen already, and AMLAC thinks they've frozen everything that he has, how is he getting around? How is he living?
I don't know.
Okay. Pretty short. Okay, we shall leave that there. But thank you so much for talking to us today, Attorney Ruy Rondain,
All right.
lawyer to former
All right.
Congressman Zaldy Co.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, attorney.